generous to migrants, also obscured their simultaneous desire to have the government enforce a pro-American policy. For example, 23% of the poll's respondents strongly opposed the cancellation of former President Barack Obama's 2012 DACA amnesty for younger illegals, who are called Dreamers by Democratic advocates, when asked if they support or oppose ending the executive orders that protect people who were brought to the U.S. illegally when they were children. The respondents split down the middle. 23% said they were strongly opposed, and 23% said they strongly support the proposal. Overall, 43% of Americans support an end to the amnesty, while 45% somewhat or strongly oppose ending the amnesty. But when the same question was asked without any reference to children, the support for repatriation spikes and opposition crashes. 62% support, and only 13% strongly oppose, detaining or immediately deporting all people who enter the U.S. illegally. That's 4-2 support for enforcing immigration laws. In fact, 2 academic surveys revealed that a majority of white voters hid their preference for a total halt to immigration. The same two-sided perspective is also shared by minority voters, including African Americans and Latinos, who say they wish to help fellow minorities, but also worry about the impact of mass immigration on their neighborhoods, schools and children. In November 2016, Trump's win was made possible by a lower-than-expected turnout of African American voters, and a better-than-expected performance among Latino voters. Throughout the 2016 campaign, Miller was a strong advocate of pro-American policies. 4 million Americans turn 18 each year and begin looking for good jobs in the free market. But business groups have used their political power to tilt the labor market in their favor, via the federal policy of importing 1 million consumers and workers each year. The government also hands out almost 3 million short-term work permits to foreign workers. These permits include roughly 330,000 one-year opt permits for foreign graduates of U.S. colleges, roughly 200,000 three-year H-1B visas for foreign white-collar professionals, and 400,000 two-year permits to DACA illegals. Universities employ roughly 100,000 foreign guest workers. That Washington-imposed economic policy of mass immigration floods the market with foreign labor, spikes profits and Wall Street values by cutting salaries for manual and skilled labor offered by blue-collar and white-collar employees. It also drives up real estate prices, widens wealth gaps, reduces high-tech investment, increases state and local tax burdens, hurts kids' schools and college education, pushes Americans away from high-tech careers, and sidelines at least 5 million marginalized Americans and their families, including many who are now struggling with opioid addictions. The cheap labor policy has also reduced investment and job creation in many interior states because the coastal cities have a surplus of imported labor. For example, almost 27% of zip codes in Missouri had fewer jobs or businesses in 2015 than in 2000, according to a new report by the Economic Innovation Group. In Kansas, almost 29% of zip codes had fewer jobs and businesses in 2015 compared to 2000, which was a 2-decade period of massive cheap labor immigration. Americans tell pollsters that they strongly oppose amnesties and cheap labor immigration, even as most Americans also want to favor legal immigrants, and many sympathize with illegals. Because of the successful cheap labor strategy, wages for men have remained flat since 1973, and a growing percentage of the nation's annual income is shifting to investors and away from employees. The business-funded Hamilton Project suggests that the shift is transferring $1 trillion per year from 160 million employees to the nation's investors.